Hi friends, this is Omkar from IIT Student. Today we will discuss about how simulation happened in Excel sheet. Before that, these simulation techniques we generally use in optimization problems. Here, if you see my notepad, here I want to discuss about how simulation has happened, how the idea will going, and what is the process in the simulation about like random number generators and solver problems. Generally, first say simulation. What is simulation? Simulation is a technique that measures and describes various characteristics of the dependent variable by using the independent variables. Suppose like if you take like y is equal to some function of x1, x2 and x3 and so on. So we don't know what is the x1, x2, x3 values. If that x1, x2, x3 values are random variables, then our corresponding y value will be changed. So to do this, we use the simulation technique. Here, the objective in simulation is to describe the distribution and characteristics of the possible values of the bottom line performance measure of y given the possible values and behavior of the independent variables. The same as it is I say. Suppose if you take like this, suppose y is equal to some function of x1, x2, x3 and so on. If you see this x1 and x2, x3, these x1, x2, x3 are some random variables. These random variables is corresponding as some distributions. These distributions will have some probabilities, and corresponding these probabilities, we will get some corresponding y values. To do this, we use the best way method is simulation methods. Here the idea, how the idea will go. This simulation repeatedly randomly generates some sample values for each uncertain input variable x1, x2 and xk in our model, and then compute the resulting value of our bottom line performance measure of y. That I told already in that. So here we are doing that we repeatedly generate some samples x1 and x2 and x3, and corresponding we will get some the y values. So here the main intention is what the process in the simulation is we should generate a random number generator concept. You see here, to perform simulation in a spreadsheet, we must place a random number generator formula in each cell that represents a random or uncertain independent variable. So what is the random number generator? Suppose suppose that I want to follow the attrition data. So attrition data depends on some age. So my y variable is attrition count and x variable is age. So age is it follows some distribution. I don't know which distribution, maybe binomial, very Poisson, I don't know. But I want to take sample from that distribution, so I should use this random number generator. This random number generator, it generates some random numbers. It gives some uncertain independent variable. Each RNG variable is sample observation from an appropriate distribution that represents a range or frequency of possible for the variable. The same as I told, like that it gives about the distribution frequency, possible values of frequency or range of frequency. And after the RNGs are in place, a new sample values are provided automatically each time the spreadsheet is recalculated. If you press the button, the spreadsheet is recalculated automatically. For every time, it will generate a random number. That's why it is called a random number generator. Every time it will generate a new number, and corresponding that number, it will calculate the corresponding y values, the dependent values. If we can calculate the spreadsheet n times, where it is the desired number of recalculation scenarios, and the values of the bottom line performance measure will be stored after each replication. So for every, suppose 10 times I repeated this calculation. So 10 answers will come. I stored these 10 answers and I will use the future behavior and characteristics of the performance measure. So this is by this we use the random number generator. And to generate, we use the risk solver platform. So what is the risk solver platform? How we use? See, as mentioned earlier, the first step in spreadsheet simulation is place an RNG formula in each cell that contains a certain value. What is RNG? RNG is a random number generator. If you want to do simulation, the first step is you should generate a RNG, random number generator. Random number generator is an uncertain value. Each of these formulas will generate a number that represents a randomly selected value from a distribution. So much distribution is there, that is so many samples are there. I am taking one value randomly. The distribution that these samples are taken from should be representative of underlining of values expect to occur in each uncertain cell. To do this, we use the risk solver platform. Risk solver platform provides some functions like PSI function. What is the PSI function? PSI stands for Polymorphic Spreadsheet Interpreter. This is used in risk solver platform in recalculate the Excel worksheet efficiently. So how it is useful? Suppose you to see the formulas. For binomial distribution, suppose what distribution is there, the random variable is there, I want to generate from random number from the distribution. That distribution is called binomial distribution. You know that binomial distribution, you want to how much the mean is there, how much the number of P is there. If you give that values, you should include the formula PSI binomial. If it is a Poisson distribution, you should include a PSI Poisson distribution. So PSI function is the function that used in risk solver platform to generate a random number generators. And after getting the output, so we should add the PSI output specifically. Why this so? PSI output function to be added to the original formula. Initial whatever it is, suppose some cell is G23. So it is like G23 plus PSI output. And this is used to how risk solver platform identify output cell of our model. So this is the basic steps you should understand before you going to simulate any problem in Excel sheet by using risk solver platform. First is simulation. In the simulation you should generate a random number generator, and in the random number generator use the PSI functions. Now we will look at one problem, how it will happen. And the problem is here see so many problems are there. In the one problem you see this problem. 1 minute. The problem is, see this problem number 3. Lisa Pond has just been hired as analyst in the corporate